Okay, so here we have the airbox. This one had a boot much like this in it previously, and the old one, as happened with mine, deteriorated to the point where it was just pieces, tiny little pieces everywhere. So we're actually going to install this in with these two. I have two rings like this that go with it and a box of rivets, so go ahead and get that going. What else we're going to do is put a little bit of gasket maker on it to actually help it seal up a little bit better. So hopefully this will be really good for it. Alright, so I got a layer on there, and what we're going to do is open our rivets. Now this first one's usually kind of tough because you got to do stuff on both sides of the airbox, like hold the inner ring and also hold the outer ring. So what we're going to do is take the outer ring, put it on here, we're going to put our rivet through one of the holes, and I'm going to set it in the box. So that's right there. I'm probably going to grab another, put it on the other side, and make sure everything is lined up just the way I need it. Okay, so it wasn't perfect, but that's where it should be going. Alright, so what I gotta do now is go to the inside. I'm actually gonna set up my rivet gun real quick. Okay, go to the inside. And wow, there's not a lot of room. Come on. That's one of them. Oh no. It popped out. Alright, so I got this one started. I'm gonna go ahead and send this rivet home. Alright, first rivet's in. Let's get the second rivet in. Yep, the inner ring moved, so I gotta change that a little bit. Nope, I just missed it entirely. Oh, that's even better. That sucks. I gotta redo that first rivet now. It's alright, I got enough. Alright, so that one grabbed perfectly. So we're going to go ahead and put another one in. Put it right here. Alright, that went where it should. We'll do both sides of this rivet before I drill that back out. Give it another. Verify it's good on the inside, which it is. Pull it down. Alright. So now I need to go grab my drill. So, got an 1/8 inch bit here. Gonna just knock the head of this off. Pull that out. Come on. Alright, now I got it. And in fact, I probably need to just go all the way through. Alright, so that old rivet's out. I put a new one in. So we'll put that right there. this one down. One more. It broke, but it didn't come out like it should have. There we go. Alright, yep, that grabbed it. So now I can put in my last two. Right here and right here. Check the bottom. Good to go. It's going in. All right, and that's how you set one of these these air boxes up to be pretty much new. It's got a brand new rubber thing in here, and I actually have the clamp that goes on it right here, which is not quite adjusted right, so go ahead and loosen that up. See if I can set it on there. Just has to get past the slip. These are some pretty stout hose clamps. Alright, so that looks ready to go. The only thing I have left to do on this airbox is I have to install the port for the map sensor and the air intake temperature sensor. One of those is in this bag right here, so let's take a look at that. Oh, there's extra screws in here too. Ooh, nice. Alright, so that's the air temperature sensor. Let's see how easy that goes in. Well, that wasn't bad. For the other port, I gotta go find it. I think it's still on the four-wheeler. So once I find that, I'll be able to put it in right here. And then I also have a piece that goes right on. Let's see. It goes like right here. And then I just gotta put this clamp down like that. And I guess that's good to go. Alright, so I'm gonna see if I can find that piece, and then I'll be right back with you. Alright, so I found the port, and it's still on the hose that goes on the four-wheeler. This one right here. So I took it out, pushed it in, and it's in there pretty good, so I think we're going to be alright. So I'm going to go ahead and do a nice little time lapse of me trying to wrestle this air box in here. This is a good one. I emptied the old gas out of the old tank, and it came out very yellow, and I don't even know if that stuff is even flammable. So we'll set that right there. We'll take this way over here. And I got a lighter. Let's see what it does. Well, I guess it is. Even though it's a couple years old. Go ahead and fling that outside. Oh, God. Ah, it's even burning on the concrete. So, better than I thought. But it's still really old and would absolutely tear the injectors right out of this thing. So, I got the tank on. I got some gas in it. What I'm going to do next is hook up the battery pack. And inside the tank, you can see this little port. That's the return for the fuel system. And basically I'm going to bump the fuel system over and over until I see something come back out of that. I may just put the jump pack straight on the fuel pump, because that'd let it start circulating through the tank, clean out the lines before the injectors even try to fire. So let's see if I can go ahead and do that. Got my jump pack right here. So we have the positive terminal. Ooh, that's going to be a tough one. I don't know if I'll be able to get a jumper cable on that. We'll see. We'll try that first and then go to the next one. So, alright. Here, no. So, I don't think I'm going to be able to do that without shorting something out. So, I'll probably do it off the starter button, because when you tap the starter button on these, they prime the fuel pump every time. So, we're clipped on right there. Get us a good ground right here. Let's move the bucket of flammable stuff away from the quad. We'll go over here in the corner. That's probably far enough. I'll burn that off later. Oh, that bucket stinks. Alright, let's see if we hear a fuel pump. I did. Alright. So, let's take a look in here. Look at that. Get some of these air bubbles out. I think that's good enough to try and start it. So let's see what happens. Alright, that's really about all I need to know about it before I start going through and trying to fix things. What I might do is run it just a little bit longer and see if I start getting anything in the oil. And that'll let me know if that valve cover is actually bad at the moment. It will go bad one day, so we're still going to change it, but if it's not bad at the moment, I should be able to take it for a ride around the yard before I actually tear it all the way down. So, I'm going to probably let this run for a minute, let it warm up, and see what happens. I'll catch up with you later. Okay, so I got to run for about 10 minutes. My coolant hasn't really gone down at all, but more importantly, I checked the oil, and it didn't turn milky. So, this one seems to run already a lot better than the one I have. I think it started easier, it revs cleaner, and it sounds meaner. So, pretty happy with how that's going. I think the next step is I'm going to get a battery for it, button up a few more things, and maybe take it for one ride, and then get into the disassembly phase of this to start doing the upgrades to the engine. So I'm going to leave it here for now, and I'll see you folks later. Thanks. Alright, so we have the motor out. It's sitting up on this bench. I cleaned this bench off to make sure that I keep track of all the parts that go to this Cannondale, and I don't mix them up with the other Cannondales. So far, I've drained about that much oil out of it. I think that's almost a half gallon. It's a pretty big thing, but out of that, I am gonna have to get a new drain plug for this because this seized in, and you can see the marks on it. I had to grab it with vice grips and break it loose because the head's all rounded off. So the next step will be taking off this water pump housing, taking off the valve cover, and also the far side cover. So I'll spin this thing around and start taking it apart. Alright, so I got the covers off of it. One of the immediate things I don't like is these oil pump gears are made of plastic. They do offer an upgrade to turn them into metal, but I gotta see if the Black Widow ATV guy even has any of those. Got the valve cover off. The camshafts look in very good shape. Pretty much no wear to them, but the valve cover where the water pump goes, you can see a lot of pitting. So that one was on its way to failure. Another thing I found is back over here where the water pump actually goes on, you can see that the washer wasn't installed under the water pump impeller and actually grooved the inside of the head because there wasn't enough clearance. You can also see that swirl pattern on the water pump itself. When you install these, you're supposed to put a screw or a washer under here to actually raise it off, and that appears to be missing. But this is the CNC billet upgraded water pump in here, so that's a good thing to find. Everything else in here looks pretty good. The oil's a little dark. Of course, you can tell that I failed to get, all of it out of there, and I'll pay for that later. But now that I know what I got, I can start ordering parts to put this thing back together. So I'm going to go ahead and cover this up with a trash bag, get it all sealed up so nothing gets in it, and get to ordering stuff. Till next time, thanks for watching.